Hello dear friends, I am Mr. Kailash Sontakke, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Gopikabai Sitaram Gawande Mahavidyalay, Umarkhed, District Yavatmal, Maharashtra. Dear friends, in my previous video we have seen the anatomy of plant, and in that we have seen the anatomy, the tissue and the types of meristem. In that we have seen the meristematic tissue in detail. Now in my next video we will see the remaining part. So before that we will see today's learning objectives. So what we will learn today? Today we will learn about permanent tissue, then simple permanent tissue and the types of simple permanent tissue. So firstly we will see the permanent tissue. So we all know that there are two main types of tissue. First one is the meristematic tissue and another is the permanent tissue. So these permanent tissue arise from meristematic tissue by the process of differentiation. So the meristematic tissue that take up the specific role and lose the ability to divide. This process of taking up permanent shape, size and function is known as differentiation or cellular differentiation, and the cells of meristematic tissue differentiate to form different types of permanent tissues. So these permanent tissue arise from meristematic tissue by the process of differentiation. Then these permanent tissue are of two types, that is simple tissue and complex tissue. So that we will see one by one. Firstly we will see the simple permanent tissue. So these simple permanent tissue are composed of only one cell type and performing only one function. These are the simple tissues. So these are composed of only one type of cells and they perform a single function. So such kind of tissue is known as a simple permanent tissue. So this simple permanent tissue again is of three types, that is Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma, that we will elaborate one by one. So firstly we will see Parenchyma tissue. So Parenchyma is a cell and tissue type in which the cells have only thin primary walls. So these are with a thin cell wall. The cells are unspecialized, lack the characteristic of wall of Collenchyma and the secondary walls of Sclerenchyma. So these cells have live nucleate protoplasm connected with various physiological activities in a plants. The cells are meristematic or permanent, simple, homogeneous, that is composed of only one type of cells. So they forms a fundamental or ground tissue upon which other simple or conducting tissue appear to be embedded. So it is often called ground tissue or fundamental tissue because it make up the mesophyll of leaf or internal structure of leaves and the cortex and pith of stem, roots, etc. So it also forms a soft tissue of fruits, that we see the tissue inside the fruit. It is also made up of Parenchyma tissue. Now here you can see the different diagrams in which this Parenchyma type of cells have a very thin cell wall, and the main function of this Parenchyma is the storage of food material. So they store large amount of food material, they act as a storage organ in a plant. Then there are different kinds of Parenchyma depending on the function they perform, such as here it is, you can see Parenchyma, then storage Parenchyma whose function is the storage of food material in the form of starch grains, then Arenchyma which is commonly found in aquatic plants or hydrophytes, which has large intracellular spaces which gives the buoyancy to this plant or which helps in a floating of plant in a aquatic condition. Then the another kind is palisade Parenchyma, which is commonly found in the leaves. So they have chloroplast in it which perform the photosynthesis. Then we can see here Chlorenchyma, which is again a type of simple permanent tissue. This Chlorenchyma consists of large number of chloroplasts and they are involved in photosynthesis, and ultimately they synthesize the starch or food material for the plant. So these are the different kinds of parenchyma tissue depending on their functions. Now nextly we will see the another type of permanent tissue or simple permanent tissue, that is collenchyma. So this collenchyma is a cell and tissue type in which primary walls are unevenly thickened. So this cell wall of this collenchyma is unevenly thickened, that is collenchyma consists of homogeneous, more or less elongated living cells. This tissue is composed of elongated cells with less intercellular spaces. So the cell wall of these cells are thicker at corner due to the presence of lignin. This tissue gives flexibility to the parts of plant and allows easy bending. This tissue is also provide mechanical support to the small parts of the plant, and one of the feature of this collenchyma, they are helpful, they gives the flexibility to the plants. And the most important thing is this collenchyma is absent in a monocotyledonous plants. Then here you can see the different types of collenchyma. So here it is, first one is the lamellar collenchyma, second one is angular collenchyma, and third one is the lacunar collenchyma. So here it is, you can see the cells has large air spaces, so, or lacuna, that's why it is known as a lacunar collenchyma. And in this type, here it is the cell wall are thickened due to the presence of or the deposition of lignin at the angles or the corners, so they give the angular appearance. So this collenchyma is known as a angular collenchyma. And these are the lamellar, means they here the cells that you can see in a layers, so that's why it is known as a lamellar collenchyma. So these are the three types of collenchyma, or which is an example of simple permanent tissue. Then the next type that we will see, that is the sclerenchyma. So the sclerenchyma, we know that mostly it consists of dead cells. So sclerenchyma is a specialized tissue consisting of groups of cells in which secondary walls are often lignified. So their cell walls are oftenly deposited with the lignin. So that's why most of the cells are dead in nature. So the term sclerenchyma is derived from Greek word scleros, which means hard, and the enchyma is an infusion. So sclerenchyma cells may or may not retain their protoplasm at maturity, or they dead at maturity. Then on the basis of length, sclerenchyma are of two types. First one is the fibers and other is the sclerites. So usually the fibers are long while sclerites are short sclerenchyma cells, that we will see in detail. So firstly, here it is a sclerites. They are having a simple pits, means they have pores inside these or at their walls. Then if you see the LS of fiber, so fibers are the longitudinal components of these sclerites. Then here it is, you can see the TS of fibers, so which gives it a hexagonal appearance, and often their cell walls are lignified, they are deposited with the lignin. Then these are the fibers, okay, so they makes a structure of sclerenchyma. So these are sclerenchyma are mostly dead due to the presence of lignin in their cell walls. Then we will see the next component, or this is the overview of simple permanent tissue that we have seen right now. That is, this simple permanent tissue is of three types: parenchyma, chlorenchyma and sclerenchyma, and these are the features of these simple permanent tissues. Then here you can see the picture of simple permanent tissue, that is parenchyma tissue, which is generally act as a storage tissue of a plant. Then collenchyma, and there is the sclerenchyma, which is generally dead in nature, which gives the mechanical strength or support to the plant. So these are the simple permanent tissue that we have seen, and these are the references that I have used. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.